All right, so it's time to put some hair on our dudes and or dudettes. So for this, what we're going to do is we are just going to make a plane. And I'm just going to snap it up here so I can see where it is. And we'll just scale it up a little bit so I can see a little bit better. And we'll go like that. Okay, fabulous. Probably the easiest way to do it is I already have this shape. I think if we'll just go ahead and I'm just going to make it one by one. So it's not really that big of a deal. This should already have UVs on it, which is fine too. So all we're going to do is make a hair material and then apply it to it, and then we'll cut it up and you'll see where we go from there. So let's go ahead and go up here to the hypershade. So Windows, rendering editors, hypershade if you don't want to do it up there. And I'm just going to go ahead and use blend just because it's the generic Maya one. And then we're going to hook up into our color. We're going to go to File, hit the little folder here, and we're going to go ahead and choose Hair Color. Boom, that looks like something. Let's go back to the blend. We're going to go to Transparency. Again, File. Go here. We're going to go to the Alpha. Open. That also looks like something. And then we'll go here, and we're going to go to the normal map, bump map. Hit this. Go File. And we're going to choose Bump. That's fine. I'm going to take the number here and just put it down low to begin with because a full 1 by default is too much. Hit the little arrow here to go to the actual folder or the file that's connected to it. Hit the folder, go to Bump, hit Open, voila. Okay, so now we have the material. I'm just going to go ahead and slap it on in here. I'm just going to middle mouse button, click and drag it onto this. I'm going to hit 6 up here so I can kind of see what we have. And you can see, looks pretty good. But what you will notice is that, oh no, it's got a shine to it. So for that, I'm just going to be kind of cheap. And I'm just going to grab this. And we're going to go to the specular color. I'm going to hit this. We're going to go File. And I'm just going to choose that Alpha again. Open. And then let's click back on this. And now you'll see that there is only Alpha on the actual hair. So hopefully you can kind of see I didn't do a great job on this. You want to make it much higher res to do a nicer job than I did, but hopefully you can kind of see how we have our hair up here. So I think, let me go back to here. Well, let's go over here. Let's do it like this. Put this over here so I can see a little bit. Okay. I'm thinking it might be able to use a little bit more bump. So I'm going to go here and let's see. Let's find the bump 2D node here. If you can't find it that way, just click on this. Hit the, where are you? Scroll down. The bump norm, hit the little arrow. And then we need to hit the arrow back. Where's the arrow back? I don't see it. We'll just do it this way. Click on this, and then we'll just do this. Let's do 0.25, just to give it a little more oomph. Okay. But you might need to adjust that if it seems like it's just too jiggity-jaggedy. All right. Okay, so now we have our hair pieces here. It's not the greatest I've ever seen, but it'll work. Okay, so what we're going to do is this. I'm going to basically just make a bunch of strands here and kind of go from that. So I'm going to cut this up. Let's just do the multi-cut tool. I'm just going to hold Control, and we'll put it here. I'll put one here. We'll do it here. And we'll go here. And now you can see we already have that. It's already sort of divided, right? So I'm just going to extract out these as separate pieces. So I will grab these two and just do, change this to modeling. Edit mesh extract. Boom. Did that work? I don't think it did. So that, there you go. I'll grab this one. G. Grab this one. G. Grab these two. G. This one. G. This one. G. This one. G. And this one. G. Is already, oh, because it's already a piece. Yeah. So now you can see each one of them is a separate piece. Yay. Okay. That works. I'm just going to work on one here, and then you can just apply the same principles to the other one. So I'm just going to give them kind of longer hair just because depending on what you're doing, you may or may not need to do that. All right. So I would like this to kind of fill this out a little bit better. So with this selected, I'm going to go to UV. We're going to go to UV editor. I brought it over here. Come on, stop doing that. Okay. All right. And I can kind of see the image, and I can kind of see the alpha. So that's not helping. So what I'm going to do is, it's hard to see it there. I'm just going to do it manually this way. I'm going to grab these UVs here, and I'm just going to push them down so I get right to the edge. I'm going to grab the UVs over here. I'm going to push them this way. And we'll grab these ones over here. And I'm going to push them this way just so it fills it out a little bit better. That's better. Okay. So if you need to grab the UVs of each one of these and then just make them fill out a little bit better, see how it's not going quite to the edge. I could just grab this whole thing and like scale it down a little bit. Maybe move it up a little bit so it's more centered. Then scale this in this way, right? Or I could just cut the edges off. It's up to you how you want to do it. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of concentrate on this one here. Okay, I'm going to concentrate on this one here. And I'm just going to add some edge loops just to make it so I can bend it and move it. So I'll put one in the center, and then we'll put some just periodically in here as well. We'll say like that. Might make sense to do 2 in the center. Let's see. We'll just do the 1 for now. Okay, so I'm going to take that. We're going to go modify, center pivot, and then I'm actually going to go ahead and I'm going to move the pivot. Let's see, WD and V. All right, we'll just go right to the edge there. Okay, just going to take this, go over here, bring it onto my dude's head, and you're basically just going to start manipulating it to give it hair shape. So I'll grab this one, Q, and this one, and I'm just doing B for soft select, click, and dragging across. Kind of go like this, right? Oh, actually, should have done this first. Just duplicate these, so that way you always have the original. So just duplicate that. That way I have the original one over there, and I'm not, not ruining that. So we'll just rotate this around and over. Just gonna go here, grab these 2 edges, B for soft select, and then we'll just rotate like that, and can rotate it down. Take this whole thing closer to his head, right? And then like so. And then what we can also do is with the selected, go to the sculpting tools. And you might want to do this once you layer a bunch of them on, but I could use the sculpting tool and then just make it way smaller. The brush is just too big. I'm holding down B and just clicking and dragging to the left. That's taking way too long. So let's go over here. Oh, wait, is it just really small? Oh, it was small, not big. My bad. Okay. Oops. I meant to hold Alt. Okay. And then what I could do is kind of smooth this down. And then let's do the grab. That's that one. And then I can kind of just pull this to make it a little bit more uneven so it looks a little more natural. And so you might find this way is a little bit better for you to work. Kind of depends whether you like moving vertices or you like sculpting. I'm just going to hold shift to kind of smooth that out a little bit. And just pull it down. If I hit Q, you'll see now I've got my hair kind of on there. That's fine. The other thing I can do with this too is I can grab this one again, Control D, W, bring it over, and maybe be like, oh, you know what? I don't want the whole thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab like these back ones, delete that, and then I just have this little bit there, right? I don't need to use the whole thing. So D and V. And then I can just take this, put this over here, and then you would just more or less have to layer these down. So you can see I didn't go thick enough with the hair. I needed to spend more time on it, and I just kind of brushed it, to be frank. So if you want nice looking hair, you're gonna have to spend the time on it. All right. Okay, just go like this. You can see he's got amazing, it looks like Smeagol. Anyway, but that's what you're going to do. You're basically just going to take your little patches, you'll duplicate them. So like this one would be another one. I'm going to fix it first. So I'm going to take it and then let's do this. This actually might be easier. I'm going to go here. I'm going to just multi-cut and just turn this off. Cut there, cut there. And I'm just going to cut it closer as opposed to trying to scale it so I don't like actually stretch it. Then we'll just turn the soft select off. Grab this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. A lot of empty space. There we go. Then I'm just going to go ahead and use the multi-cut tool, and maybe I'll put in like 2 instead this way, and then do like 1, 2, 3 that way. And then what I can do is duplicate this and bring this guy over. D and V, move that pivot closer. And then you're just going to lay one patch after the other on top of each other until you have your hair. It's kind of a time-consuming process, as you can probably already tell. And then maybe this time do the sculpting. Look at that. Okay, and then control is in. It's the same settings as Mudbox. This is very weak sauce apparently. So I'm just going to kind of sculpt that down. Oops, see, then I'm just going to pull that back up. So it might be worth it to use this as opposed to the grab. Pull that back up. How close are we? That's not too bad, actually. Let's smooth that out, and then I'll say Q to go back out of it. You can see now I've got a hair patch there. Okay. What I would do is just do some research and look at different hairstyles and stuff so that you get a pattern going. So like this guy's hair is supposed to go this way. I have to put like the strands across to make that happen. Also, when we go to do the actual texturing, what you can do is on the head here, we can paint kind of hair on it. So even the parts that are see-through, such as we see right now, would be a little less apparent. And probably what I would, if I were like, spending more time on this, I would just spend more time on these. I'd make sure that the inside was more solid with the alpha channel. And then I would I'd do that first. And then I would go through and, start shaping it around and make it look the way that I was hoping for. But I'm not going to just go through the whole thing with you. You just want to take those pieces and just put them across. Again, you can look at other people's. There's a lot of examples you can find online, and they'll kind of, you can see the patterns and stuff that they kind of developed until you have your full bit of hair. And you would do just beard hair, facial hair, more or less the same way. And if you want to do some body hair, again, it's just more or less the same basic method. Hopefully that makes sense.